Good evening. My name is Bhavyashree. So now I am going to explain the debugging concept. So debugging is a important tool which is used in every almost in every Eclipse IDE. Sorry, in every Java related IDEs. So because of this debugging concept, we can able to understand the flow of our code, where we are getting the errors or where we are missing the concept or where we are getting the exceptions. So these are the type of checks we can do using this debugging concept. So if I want to run my code in a debug mode, so I have to click on this debug mode, or else if it is not there here, so we have to select that perspective in your IDE, then you have to start your debug mode. And if you want to debug your code, first of all, you have to click on this debug as and start the application. So first, let me show my code with a normal flow. So I'll just click on the run as applications. So my validation service is up and running. So it is occupying the 8081 port. Here it is saying 8081 port. So let me open Postman. This Postman is it's a tool used by developers and testers to check the APIs. So this is my API. Okay. So this is my validation API. And similarly, I'm having the process API and RESTly API. So I'm having so many APIs here. So let us give me some minute to load this thing. Okay. Let me close and open it again. Okay, this is my processing service API. And if I click on this one, this is my validation service API. So this is my validation service API. So in this way, we are having some API. API is nothing but a link to open my particular project or my particular microservice. So here HTTP means it is running on that API, and localhost means it is running on my computer. 8081 is saying it is running on that port number, and payments is an endpoint of my validation microservice. So if I show you here, so let us open this payment controller, and here, if I want to, after running that request in the postman, I have to come to this place. So here I have mentioned, so I have done a request mapping. So if I want to come here, I have to mention the endpoint. So this is my endpoint where it is showing payments. And as of now, I haven't returned any methods except this post mapping. So I won't directly come to this post mapping. So that's why I have selected here the HTTP request as post. So if it is a get mapping, so I have to select get, otherwise put patch according to my mapping, whatever I have done with my method. So if multiple methods are there with the same post mapping, again I have to put one more endpoint to this particular method as maybe create or initiate payment. So this type of endpoint I have to put here. Okay. So if I want to debug any code, so actually I have already run this microservice. So I want to shoot on this one and I want to check what type of response I'm getting. So actually this difference is already there in my table. So let us make to the 0. And first I want to see the valid response. Okay, let me open this file again. Actually, it is coming a bit late. Now my validation service, now my validation microservice is already up and running. So let me show this one. Now I'm getting the valid response here 200. Okay, it is saying means request is successful and the server has responded as required. Okay, so now it is saying that whatever the request that I have sent through as a JSON format, it is sent, it received properly by my microservice and it was stored in my DB. So as of now, I'm having these type of references only, merchant transaction references. So if I run this one again, so now after this API payment, this particular user ID 734 is making the transaction reference of some 30000. So now I'll check whether the response is properly saved or not. Now, as of now, I don't have that request. So let me see whether it is having or not. Let me run this one. I'll run it one more again, one more time. First, I have to use validations. Okay, it is running. Then I'll check whether my merchant payment request table is getting that record actually or not. Okay, now it is getting this record also. And I have connected this JSON format request to my microservice through this Java object. Here I have this payment request. Inside it, user and payment is there, and even my postman also. I having those details. This is the user and this is the payment. And inside that object classes, I'm having some more details. Now I got the valid response. So if I want to send this request again, so if I send the same request again, then I'll get the invalid request or error code and error message I'll get because this transaction reference is already there in my DB. So if I again shoot on this one, then I'll get the invalid request, sorry, invalid response. So I'm getting some bad request. That means duplicate merchant transaction reference. So as I said, this is already there in my DB table. So now I'm getting the duplicate merchant transaction reference found in the payment request. So I was currently working on this project, so I can able to understand okay why it is getting, and I'll made the changes here, and I'll again see whether it is working or not. But if the outsider will not understand what is actually going in the code, so if they want to understand this flow, they have to open this console and they have to check where the exceptions are raising. So in this logs, so these are logs are printing because of the SLF4J. That annotation it will give you log one log object reference. So by using that one, you can able to print the loggers in your console that you can easily understand from which class which which log is printing. So here, if you observe, this is the package and the class name, and it is saying what are the details that it is printing in that particular method. Okay. So if I want to check why the exception is raising, I have to check each and every log and then I have to understand. It will definitely take so much time to understand this type of logs. I cannot easily understand by seeing these many logs. So as of now, I am just having maybe 50 to 60 logs. So it will take me to understand maybe 15 to 20 minutes or most approximately 30 minutes. But what if I am having more than 100 to 200 logs? At that time, by seeing this package and class name, I have to go to the class name and I have to check in which method it is giving me that log. So to reduce this burden in this IDE, I have one debug mode. So if I click on this one and if I run my code on the debug mode, then when if I run that code on the debug mode, then I can easily walk through my code and I can able to understand on which phase the which code is running and which log is coming. So if you want to do like that, okay, let me shut down this again. And previously I have run this project with a normal command run as. Now if I want to debug this one, now I have to run on the debug as. So I'll again run this Spring Boot application. Okay, now my application is running on the debug mode. So if I click on this file again, now it will not run directly. Now it is waiting for the response. So I'll go to this place. Now it is coming to directly to my controller. Previously also it is coming to controller and then it is going to service layer, then it is going to the DAO layer and try to insert my request and it is failed because of this duplicate transaction reference. It is all done in a single second, but I want to walk through my code and I want to check where I got the mistake and where I'm exactly getting that exception. So in order to check this one, I have to turn on this debug mode. So now, if you want to do this debug mode, first of all, you have to give one starting breaking point. Otherwise, it will not come to your this place. This breakpoint will tell you from one endpoint to another endpoint. That means where to start particular code and that place to another. Like it will give you the start and end points of the code, not the entire code. If you want to see your code, for example, let me give one example here. So here I'm having one method, something M1 method. Inside it, I'm having some code. So from this code, I want to go to the another particular class or another particular method I want to go. So I'm having one more method. This is M2 method. Maybe not in, it is not mandatory to have in the same class or not mandatory to have in the same package also. I can have this M2 code in any other package or any other class also. It is fine. But I want to directly go to from this endpoint to this endpoint. So here, if I want to go to this point to this point directly, so whatever the code that is that I want to go has to be here also. That has to be called here. Then only I can go to this code. Okay, now I call this method maybe throw with object reference variable or with the static variable also. Okay, throw with the class variable also. But I want to go to this method has to be declared here and from this endpoint to this endpoint. I want directly go to this one without executing the remaining one. So I can put a breakpoint here. Here I'll put one breakpoint and here I'll put one more breakpoint inside this code. So let me give one more breakpoint here. Okay, this is one more breakpoint. So if I do resume, so whenever I'm at this breakpoint, it will give me such type of green line. It will show me one green line here actually. Okay. So this type of green line it will show. Okay. So now it is saying that now my code is on this one. If it is on the green line, so in my code also it is showing one green line. That means presently it is trying to execute this particular line. So if I want to go directly to the next breakpoint, so if I resume this one, it will directly go to that point and it will not execute the remaining ones. So it will be useful. For example, when we are going inside into the any unrelated or predefined methods, then it will be useful. These breakpoints will be useful when we are going to the predefined methods or when we don't want to see that particular execution or when we want to ignore that particular execution. So at that time it will be useful. And some more options are there in your Eclipse IDE when you are debugging your code. This is called step A2. That means we can go into the detailed steps of that particular method. And this is called step over. It just move from one line to another line. So if I do step over, it is just going to the next line. So how many lines are there? It will go just one by one. If I do again step over, it will directly come to this 33 line and it will not show you how the internal things are working. It will not go into that particular methods. That means it will not go into this particular create payment method. If I want to go into that particular method, I have to do the step into, or otherwise I can go through by this breakpoints also. So as I said here, whenever my code is here, and it will show my sorry, it will show one green line on that particular line. So now I want to go from this breakpoint to another breakpoint directly. Then I'll just resume. So directly it will go to that particular breakpoint. So I'll open my Eclipse IDE again. So now I just walk through it. Okay. Now this validation is there. It is giving some rules. So if I click on the step over again, now it will show me how many validations are there here. So after executing that particular line, if you mouse over the cursor or particular variable, then you can able to see whatever the result that you are getting after performing that particular line. And one more thing, if you want to see the breakpoints here, so these are the breakpoints that I kept to my code. So the entire project, I kept these many breakpoints, and whatever the breakpoints are there in another microservices, those are also a show will be shown here if you are putting that one. So as of now, I just kept the validation service breakpoints only, and these are the variables, and these are the expressions. So if you want to do any singular, any particular expression, and you want to check that one, you can check this in this place also. And you can add the variables also, and you can delete the variables also. So it is possible. Okay. We'll go to the place again. Okay. Now I'm at this place. So if I do the step over, now I can go to the next line. Okay. Again, I'll do the step over. Now if I see, it is printing some duplicate transaction validated. So in my validation service, I have written so many validation checks. One is duplicate transaction validator, another one is threshold transaction validator, and another one is blacklist validator. So these many types of validators are there. It is going to each and every validator, and it is checking whether my request is correctly framed or not, and it is checking whether my request is correct or not. Okay, now it is going to the duplicate transaction validator here. So by using this method, I'm getting the validator class object reference. So if I do step into or resume, actually having the breakpoint there also. So if I go resume, so it will directly come to this particular enum class and to the 40th line directly. So I'll just resume this thing. So it is directly coming to this one. So again, I'll do step over. Okay, I want to check whether it is null or not. Okay, it is not null, and it is returning the validator class, and again it is coming to this place. Okay, again I'll go step over, and now it is checking validator bean is null or not. Actually it is returning. So as there I have seen that it is returning, so it will not come to this if condition. It will directly go to the else block. It is going now. It will print. It has to print this validator bean found for this validation. Now I'll step over. If I see this console, hmm. So in this payment service implementation, it is saying that validator being found for this validation. That means duplicate transaction validator found. Okay. Now I want to go to this validate method. So let me check whether it is whether breakpoint is available or not. Otherwise, I can do resume. Then it will directly go to that breakpoint. Or else I can do step into also. Okay. Let me go to that method first. Control T. Here, here I have the breakpoints, but without breakpoints, I want to go into this method. So it is possible with the step into. So let me do step into here. So this is the step into. I can able to press the shortcuts also. If we want to press the shortcuts, it is also possible. And if you want to use the icons directly, it is also possible. Now I will go into the step into. Now it is coming to this place only directly. Okay. Now again, I want to just step over. I want to see each and every line. Now I'm doing the step over. Again step over. Again step over. So my payment request is not a null and it is not empty also. So that's why it is not coming to the if condition. Okay, now I am understanding. By seeing this green color line, now I am understanding my execution flow from where it is going to which place. Okay, now this line will be executed. Then now I want to go into this particular method. I can do step into also, I can do resume also because one breakpoint is there at that particular method also. I'll just do resume. Now I'm directly coming to this method. Now I'll do step over again. Again step over. Okay, it will print me SQL now. So let me check what it is printing. Insert into merchant payment request. Okay, so it is doing this type of SQL. Means it is performing this SQL operation. Okay. Now if I print step into here, it will go into this JSON object and I'll do that one. Okay, again, if I want to come here, I have to be there a breakpoint. Okay, I having breakpoint here. So let me go into this method, JSON method. I want to check that one. Okay, it is coming to here. Now I do the step over. It will come to the next line. Again, if I'm doing, okay, actually it is a simple method. Maybe that's why it is not going to the most internal things. Okay, I'll do step over again. Now it is coming to this place. I'll do step over, step over. So it is going to each and every line. Now if I do step into, it will go to the update method. I'll do step into. Now it is coming to this method. So if I do step over here, okay, it is also not having maybe that much of method. So that's why it is directly coming here. Actually, if it is going to the internal things more deeply, if you want to come out of that place, that breakpoints and this uh, resume option will be more useful if you are going to the more advanced things. Okay, now I'll again do the step over and it is returning me merchant duplicate. So if I do step over, so from there actually it came to this method. So let me show you that method. Okay, it is calling from the service layer. So it has to go to this service layer. From this method, it is calling that one. And here I was calling this one. And it is giving me the merchant duplicate. So it has to come here. But so after printing this one, after printing duplicate record, it is returning the merchant request duplicate. So if I go here, it has to return this one. And then it has to come this place. So as I am doing the step over, it was directly going to the validation exceptions. So let me go to that exceptions also. It has to throw the validation exception. Okay, let us go to this place. And I'm having the global exception handlers inside my project. I'm having the validation exception handlers. So where it was exception. So here validation exception. Okay, this is validation exception. So this is the global exception handler. I was handling whatever the exceptions are raising. I was handling here. So it has to come to this place. From that one to here, it has to come to this place. Actually, it is printing now. Okay, it has to print that one. Let us resume this thing again. Okay, it is coming to this place. Now, if I resume again, it has to go to my exception handler. Now it is coming to, as I said, it is coming to the validator exception global exception handler because I was handling whatever the exceptions are raising, I want to handle in this particular class. So if it is validation exception, I'll just raise in this method. So if it is not a validation exception, I was raising with the parent class exception. So that's why it is coming. If I am resuming all, it is coming here and still I'm not getting any uh, I'm not getting any error response also. So if I go through this one, so again, if I want to step over, I can do the step over also, or else I can directly step return. That means step into means it is going deeper into that method. Step over means it is going to each and every line. This step return means it will go to the caller method from where it is called. For example, I was executing one method. Sorry, for example, one method is executing, and if I do step return, so from which method this method was called, it will directly go to that method without showing you any particular logs or any particular execution flow. It will show you in console, but it will not go each and every line into that particular method. Okay, I don't want to step return. I don't want go back to the method that which called this one. So I want to do step over. I want to see this execution flow. Okay, it is giving you error response. It is creating one error response with a validation exception. So whenever you are throwing this type of exception, okay, whenever I'm throwing this exception in this place, it is getting duplicate transaction reference. Let us go here. Okay, this type of error code and error message I'm getting, and it is calling this method. It is calling this method through this global exception handler. Inside it, okay, whatever the error code, error message are there are coming here, and we are getting that message also. So where I'm getting this message, let me check that one also, because this log dot error is already raised here. Duplicate. Okay, here I'm getting this response. Validation error. So as I said here, validation error. So whatever the message is there. So there my message is duplicate merchant transaction reference found in the payment request. So whatever that I have mentioned in this place, not here, there is my error enum. Yeah. So whatever the message that I kept here, that is coming here in this console because I was printing that one. And I was printing that validation exception also. That means I was just throwing that one. So that's why here I'm getting this exception. Okay. With it, with this message also. Okay. It is throwing this one. Then I'll just do step over. I just want to go to the next line. Step over. Now it is printing it is creating the error response object with these values. Whatever the error core and error message is there, those values, it is printing that one. Now if I do step into, okay. Sorry, if I'm doing step over. Okay. Again, I'll do step over. Okay, so it is returning the response entity with the error response and HTTP bad request also. Okay, so because of that reason, here I'll get the bad request also. So if I do step over again, it has to actually go to that place where the sorry, from where it was called. Let us go to this place from where it was called. It's called from the service implementation. Okay, from here it was called, and it has to throw the exception to the controller because this valid method is called through the controller. Let us go to that place again. I just want to go to the place, and here, okay, not here also. Okay, this is my service implementation. Inside this one, whenever I am calling this validate method, this is throwing the exception in this else block. So here only, from this place only, it is going back to the controller class. So I have the breakpoints here. So let us go to the place again where the exception is handling. Okay, here my response was, so I'll do the step over. Okay, now it is going to some internal things. If I do step over, you will not get anything. So I have to go to my flow again. So if I do step over, I don't know when it will go to the next breakpoint. So I just want to resume this one. So if I do resume, it is coming here. Actually, it is not coming to this payment controller because it's a bad response. It is not giving this to here. From here only, there's my global exception. Huh. So after handling this one, whatever the response entity I'm getting, that response entity is directly getting back to this place. Here, the execution was done, and let us check here. Still, it is moving. Actually, it went to this security exception security or exception handler. Maybe the postman got stuck, so that's why it is coming like this. So let us close this one. I'll open it again. So let me run this one more time. Okay. So with the same transaction reference, I just want to do this thing. So here I'm getting this type of response because transaction reference is same. So at last it is going to this place. Okay, let me debug this once again. So close this one and I'll just debug as Spring Boot application. So let me run this request again. Switch. Now it has to come this one. So as I have already gone through this code, so I just want to resume everything. So I'm resuming and again I'm resuming. It is coming to the payment. Okay, it is coming to the This is payment service implementation. Yeah, now it is coming. So now it is going to this payment service implementation and running everything. From here, it is going to the enum class. And then again, it came back with the validation beans of the duplicate transaction validator. Again, if I resume, it is going to the next place. Then it is going to the now it is going to this line to call the DAO layer. Now it came to DAO layer. Again, if I resume, it is going to next one. Then again, if I resume, it is directly going to try block. Now it has to raise the duplicate key exception. Now it is going inside it, and now it is getting that. Now it is giving the merchant request update dot duplicate. So that's why it is coming to this if block and throwing this type of exception. It has to go to the global exception handler. So this is my global exception handler. So if I resume this one, it is trying to return this response. So from here only it will give the response. So it is giving me bad request. So now everything was done. So if I go here and see, I'm getting this one. Previously the postman was stuck, so that's why I'm getting the response. So it is not coming to controller back because so from here only I was returning that response entity which is of bad request. So that's why it is giving me bad request. So here also. So what if I change here? So if I change to 3, I think 2 is already there. Let us check with 2 also. Let me give 3 directly. And if I shoot again, okay, again it is coming to the controller again. So I'll just resume all. Now I'll check whether I'm getting the duplicate transaction or not. I don't get that one, and I'll come to the controller at last. So here everything is fine. Whenever it is going to the insert merchant payment request, it has to throw me duplicate transaction exception if I'm giving the same transaction reference. Now it will not go to the catch block. From try block only it will return back. Okay, now it is giving me the this one. Now it is going to check the next validator. Just I'll resume. It is going and checking the remaining ones. So if I see here, so I'm having the so it is running the payment item threshold validator. So it is not giving me any error. So that is why it is coming back from that method. And then it is trying to execute that one. Okay, now everything is fine. Then it is trying to execute the blacklist validator. So that is also not giving any exception. So now I'll just resume this one. Again resume. Again if I resume. So it is going to the payment response now because everything is fine. So it is coming to the controller phase and it is giving me the response. So it will come to this 35 line again. If I resume, it is giving me resume. If I do this resume, okay. So it is giving me finally the resume. Sorry, response. Valid response it is giving. So if I go and check here, I'm getting this valid response. And if I check the DB, so as of now I'm having 010. Okay, these are the records that I'm having. Now I want to see whether my 3003. So my last transaction reference is 3003. So I'll see whether it is saved properly or not. So if it is giving me valid response means that it is saved successfully. So let me run this one. So if I see here, now I'm getting this response. Not only this one, I'm getting the each and every one here. So here user 734. So where is this one? Okay. So here user 734 and the merchant transaction difference and the remaining everything is coming as a JSON request. So that's why it is sharing this one. It is storing the all the requests, all the remaining requests as a JSON format because I have converted that one. It is not going actually. Okay. And this creation date I am not passing. It is creating as per the time when I was inserting it. So I have created that one at 11:47. So at that time, I got this record. So this is called debugging concept. So you can able to understand now by using these logs, you can easily understand. But if you are checking the logs at a time, you're not understand. But if you go through each and every line by using this options, whatever available in the debug mode, you can easily understand, okay, from where it is going to which point. And also you can easily understand, okay, if I am running this particular line, so what is the result that I'm getting after running that particular line? And accordingly, you can see these logs also. You can write system.out.println, but it will not tell you from which class or from which method it is executing that one. Now, if you see this one, it will give you the class name. So this is the class name with a package also it is giving. So I can easily understand, okay, so the C is referring to my com. So this com dot hulk hire dot payments dot service dot impl payment service implementation. So in this particular package, I am having this implementation class, and from there I am getting this log. So I can easily understand from where it is coming. So this is called debugging. So if you use this debugging mode, you can easily understand the flaws in your code. So that's all about